This is Fred Wahl, the Visa Coach, and today's topic is how to bring your Vietnamese fiancé to the USA.
VisaCoach. Fast, easy, and personal.
I am Fred Wahl, the Visa Coach, and I am known for the personal, one-on-one relationship, that we share. That's you, me, and your partner as we work together as a team to overcome the many challenges of immigration. Please don't risk your happiness. Don't go this course alone. Alone, it's far too easy to make mistakes that cause tears, delays, and expensive denials. Pick up the phone, speak with me directly, so that you and I can get to know each other. And this is the complimentary case evaluation I talk about later. If we are compatible, that'll be the beginning of our beautiful relationship to get you the immigration approvals that you need. Now, this is what two of my clients, Jim and Mai, had to say. Mai comes from Vietnam, and I helped her get her K1 Fiancee visa. The Visa Coach, Fred Wahl, provided a very satisfactory experience, successfully assisting us throughout the entire process of obtaining a K1 visa for my fiancé. I quickly realized that I had made the right move. During the period while waiting for USCIS approval, I inundated Fred with numerous email questions. He always responded personally, promptly, courteously, and professionally. In addition, he maintained a continually updated, secure, password-protected, personal information page for me that listed next steps and what to do while waiting. After my case was forwarded to the consulate in Ho Chi Minh City, Fred was there every step of the way to maximize my fiancé's chances of interview success. When the interview initially failed, Fred coached us in assembling the remaining requested documents. They were just missing some documents. A new interview appointment was not needed. We only needed to return the requested documents to the consulate, after which she was promptly approved. With this success, I now look forward to working with him again, this time in the application for her adjustment of status to permanent residency. Jim and Mai, you are most welcome. Now, let's talk about how to bring your Vietnamese fiancé to the USA. So, your Vietnamese fiancé needs permission from the U.S. government to allow him or her to enter the USA. And this is called a K1 Fiancee visa. So first, we work together to produce a thick packet of forms, evidences, and civil documents. This is required to demonstrate that you are eligible to apply and that your true agenda, is a genuine life together, not immigration fraud. The application itself looks, pretty simple. It asks for name, rank, serial number, and this often leads to overconfidence. Couples who really don't understand what all will happen, fill in the blanks themselves, submit the petition, and usually end up, shooting themselves in the foot. This typically results, in the leading cause of denial, which is failure to convince the consular officer who is going to interview your fiancé that your relationship is genuine, is bona fide. Sadly, U.S. immigration has had bad experience in the past with this type of romance visa. Many who were not eligible applied for fiancé visas, and in reality, they were not seeking a marriage partner, but only seeking admission to the USA. So gold diggers, gigolos, con men, even terrorists have used fiancé visas as a backdoor into the USA. And normally in the USA, one is innocent until proven guilty. Because of the bad apples who have abused fiancé visas before you, now immigration takes the attitude, everyone is guilty until proven innocent. And this is how a lot of couples get in trouble. They sadly end up shocked at what happens at the interview. Because they are, in love, they assumed, that no special effort to prove their situation was needed. They assumed the consular officer would, instantly approve. So they filled in the forms themselves, filling in the basic, name, rank, serial number, or they hired a cheap online form filling printing service. And those cheap, bare-bones applications are usually, well, enough to get one's foot in the door. It's usually enough to get your fiancé sitting opposite a consular officer for the interview. But sadly, just having your chance at bat, chance to interview, well, is not enough usually to win approval. It's not enough to demonstrate that your application is bona fide. Now, the consular officer must dig, ask a lot of questions. And when he's doing that, it can easily deteriorate into what feels like an interrogation. Well, until he feels he has enough feeling about the case to make a yes, or sadly no decision. And if he is short of time, impatient, closed-minded, bad mood, or if your fiancé is not fast and fluent enough to provide convincing answers, the simpler choice for the officer, the safer choice that does not risk his career or professional reputation, is to deny. So my signature philosophy at VisaCoach is to, we get success by, doing the consular officer's job for him. Now what this means is that, a consular officer starts with a certain expectation of what an eligible couple looks like. If we show him proof that the couple situation, your situation, matches his expectations, then we move your case towards approval. So when I work with a couple, I first discuss with them what they have been doing, and then I explain what the consulate they will be interviewed with expects. And then I suggest what actions the couple should take, to do the right thing that the consulate expects. For example, the consulate in Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known Saigon, has very high expectations. Couples who are able to speak directly to each other without a translator, who have met more often than just once, who did not get engaged quickly or prior to their first face-to-face meeting, and who have spent the time and money to have a very elaborate engagement party known as a din hon, they have a higher chance of success than any other couple. Doing the right thing, however, is not good enough. Next, we need to document that the right thing was done. So I teach my clients ways to create evidences that show what happened. And I review these evidences to pick and choose the most relevant and effective ones. But having evidences that the right thing was done, still isn't good enough. Last, we have got to make sure that the officer sees these evidences. And that's what a bare-bones, do-it-yourself or cheap form-filling service misses. It doesn't include a full set of well-thought-out, well-selected, and properly presented persuasive evidences of a couple's bona fides. And that's what the VisaCoach front-loaded petition does. We include with every application high-quality evidences specifically demonstrating that you have a bona fide relationship. And we front-load the evidences into the original application because we know that these evidences will get into the consular officer's hands before the interview starts. And we know that the consular officer always reviews the original application materials before the interview starts. So my front-loaded applications are crafted to do the consular officer's job for him. During his review, before your fiancé even sits down in front of his desk, the consular officer should have seen and reviewed, the type of evidences that allow him to confidently approve your visa. He should then be very receptive to say yes, even before your fiancé sits down. Now, the petition package I prepare is mailed to USCIS, United States Customs and Immigration Service, to their offices in Dallas, Texas. Now, in 2018, USCIS takes about, 7 to 8 months to review and approve your case. This includes a criminal background check conducted on you by the FBI. This is much slower than in recent years and is due to the executive officers issued by President Trump for USCIS to conduct more vigorous reviews. And this is called extreme vetting of all cases. When finished, USCIS hands the case over to the U.S. State Department's National Visa Center, NVC, based in New Hampshire. Fiancé visa applications are held there only briefly at NVC, usually a few weeks, just long enough for NVC to assign a new case number and forward your file via diplomatic pouch to the consulate in Ho Chi Minh City. Case numbers assigned to Ho Chi Minh City, well, begin with HCM. Now, once the case arrives at Ho Chi Minh City, the visa interview can usually be conducted in about 1 to 2 months later. And please be aware that even though there are 2 locations of U.S. consulates in Vietnam, in both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, the U.S. State Department has decided to concentrate all consular staff involved in processing, vetting, and interviewing of fiancé visa applicants in just one place, the consulate in Ho Chi Minh City. So regardless of where your fiancé lives in Vietnam, her or his interview will only take place at the U.S. consulate located in Ho Chi Minh City. Now, about the same time your case is on its way overseas, I update you on what the current procedures are at the consulate. I'll guide you and your fiancé on what needs to be done, how to schedule the interview, where to take the medical, what final fees are needed, and how to obtain, well, required official documents, such as, well, police clearances, certificates of singleness or no marriage. I prepare the affidavit of support for your signature, and I guide you to select which financial evidences are needed to demonstrate that you are financially eligible to sponsor your fiancé. Finally, in the run-up to the interview, I provide a detailed, personalized checklist of what all your fiancé should bring with him or her to the consulate on the day of the interview. Now, this is especially important, as forgetting to bring a required document can cause weeks of delays. Or even if a missing document is provided the following day, provided the following day, the consular officers have already, well, they've moved on to new cases. And they make it their very low priority to reopen a case to verify a case is complete after a late submission. 1 to 2 weeks before the interview, your fiancé must undergo a thorough medical exam and review of his or her vaccinations at a clinic appointed by the consulate. And good news, your fiancé can choose between clinics in Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi. Finally, your fiancé attends the interview at the U.S. consulate in Ho Chi Minh City. This is the big event. During the interview, the consular officer must be convinced that your relationship is bona fide and not a sham. As previously mentioned, at the interview is where the high-quality visa front-loaded application typically sets the stage and wins the day. The consular officer always reviews the case file before the interview starts. We craft your application so that he finds many good reasons why he should trust you and approve the visa. Even before he invites your fiancé to sit in front of his desk, we want him to have seen our carefully selected and presented evidences and be mentally prepared to say yes. Typically, the interview then turns into a fast and friendly formality. Most VisaCoach clients hear "Welcome to the USA" in just about 3 or 4 minutes. 1 to 2 weeks later, your fiancé's passport with visa are delivered to him or her via courier, and then your fiancé has 6 months to start the trip to join you in the USA. After arrival to the USA, you have 90 days to marry. Sorry, but even though you have persevered and gotten the fiancé visa, and your fiancé has come to the USA, and you have had your wedding and honeymoon, U.S. immigration is still not done with you. There are 2 more times that we must apply to U.S. immigration in order for your new spouse to remain with you in the USA permanently. We overcame their skepticism and convinced them that your relationship is bona fide, so they issued the fiancé visa. But we have to do it all over again. And not once, but twice. After the wedding, your fiancé does not have to leave the country. She or he can stay with you as your spouse. If you apply to U.S. immigration for permission for your spouse to remain in the USA as a lawful permanent resident. This is called adjustment of status. Your new spouse adjusts his or her status from that of a temporary 90-day visitor to a permanent resident. Now, at the end of the adjustment of status application process, your spouse gets what's called the green card. But U.S. immigration is still cautious, still skeptical. So the green card that is granted is only conditional. meaning it's only good for 2 years. And before the 2 years is up, we're going to apply once again. This time it's called Application for Removal of Conditions on Residence. We apply, it is granted, and now your spouse finally gets a regular green card that doesn't have any conditions. A year later, your spouse is eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship and get a U.S. passport. But don't worry, even though there are many steps, VisaCoach, I'm ready to help you through each and every one. From fiancé visa through to conditional green card, then unconditional green card, and finally, U.S. citizenship. This was Fred Wahl, the VisaCoach. Now, please like or add your comments to this video, and then go to VisaCoach.com and sign up for the VisaCoach monthly newsletter. Each month, it is full of tips and advice on marriage-based immigration, and it's free of charge. And when you sign up, you get 2 free ebooks I have written, 120 K1 visa interview practice questions, and 5 things you must know before starting your visa. Finally, when you are ready to get started, call for your complimentary case evaluation and speak with me directly.
Before starting on your immigration adventure, before entering an arcane maze of rules, regulations, and procedures, before committing yourself to a risky path that could mean an end to your happiness, speak with the VisaCoach and ask for his free case evaluation. He listens to you to learn the red flags and strengths of your case, your eligibility and goals. He will suggest which visa is right for you, the best strategy to get it, and how soon your love could join you. VisaCoach's friendly advice and support might make the difference between approval and denial, and could save you months or years of loneliness and separation. What have you got to lose? Book your free evaluation today.